Mentioned despite that rally in meme stocks, the broader market was little changed after that hotter than expected read on wholesale prices this morning. Let's talk about that. The producer price index jumps 0.5 in April and is up 2.2% now from a year earlier. That's the biggest gain we've seen by that metric in about a year. Excluding food and energy, core prices also rose 0.5%. That was more than double the forecast. Will all of it make it more difficult for the Fed to start cutting rates? My next guest says there are 4 stocks he's monitoring for macro signals, and he'd know a thing or two about that. Jake Schurmeier is here. He's portfolio manager at Harbor Capital Advisors. Jake, I'm sure, you know, your Fed background, I'm just going to mention in passing so people know that, you know, you're not just anyone talking about macro signals here, but I'd be very curious to know where you are looking these days.
Yeah, so I think in terms of the PPI this morning, how that translates ultimately to PCE, which is what the Fed cares about, it's actually a little bit lower than what we've seen over the first quarter. So there's kind of some slight positive news, and I think that really explains why you saw the headline beat, and yet kind of rates markets came down. You know, Powell, of course, spoke. But, you know, once you look under the hood, the PPI was a little less concerning. And so what we're looking for tomorrow in terms of CPI is it's really shelter on one side. It's kind of like waiting for Godot there. We know shelter prices will come down because of what private market rents have done. We just haven't seen it yet. That lag has been much longer than we anticipated. Powell talked a little bit about that today. And then it's the services side excluding shelter. So really the only place we can engage within the inflation data about whether or not wages are at a level that's consistent with 2% in the medium term.
Okay, you have 4 names, and I want to make sure people caught what you just said there. The way that they would calculate PCE, that, you know, those components of PPI maybe not so concerning. Maybe that's a bit of good news. Starbucks, though, that's one of the names you're watching, down 20% so far this year, not giving us a lot of confidence. Freeport-McMoRan, New York Community Bank, Western Alliance. Talk a little bit about what signals you're looking for and what you think they're telling us.
Yeah, so Starbucks, it's really, there's this ongoing debate in very consumer-centric companies right now. Like, are we seeing some pressure for low-end consumers? And Starbucks is kind of one of the most emblematic names for that. And so you can tell this very idiosyncratic story. Starbucks is facing increased competition, especially in China. And they've been doing a lot of CapEx over the past few years. So have they just gotten over their skis? Or are they telling us something a little bit about the low-end consumers' willingness to kind of take on these higher prices? Because again, the price level has increased, you know, more than 20 percentage points over the past 4 years. And so consumers finally starting to buckle. And so that's really what we're focused on for Starbucks. If you turn to Freeport, that's kind of this more secular story. You know, they're one of the best pure play copper names out there. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, you've really seen a tightening of that physical copper market of late. Is that just a story about kind of some near-term optimism in China, the largest consumer of copper? Or are we kind of starting to get to that kind of longer-term secular story, whether it's data centers that need a lot more copper, whether it's decarbonization where you have to build out the grid? Are we kind of getting to that kind of secular story yet, or is it just kind of a short-term China story?
Would you be
and kind of finally for the U.S.? Go ahead,
no, I was just going to say, are you kind of thinking of yourself as a buyer of all of these names? Starbucks, Freeport-McMoRan, obviously New York Community Bank, Western Alliance. Those are kind of bearing a lot of the brunt of the banking crisis a year ago, maybe navigating through that now. I guess all of these, maybe other than Freeport, but are these names that you want to pick up here with confidence about the macro outlook, or are you not so sure?
I think we're not certain, but I think Starbucks, if you're optimistic about the consumer, and I think we generally think we'll kind of muddle through here. Maybe we'll slow a bit in the fourth quarter, but I think, you know, the economic outlook remains positive. And so Starbucks is kind of really at the negative end. And so, you know, you're buying a cheap consumer levered name at a time at a very low valuation. So we think that's a very positive story, and it can, you know, do a lot of self-help there, maybe pulling back on CapEx. Freeport, you know, we are buyers of the kind of longer term secular theme that we are going to need more commodities than we have. Copper is a very long cycle asset. It takes 10 to 15 years to ramp up supply. And so we do think this secular story is going to be a tailwind for industrial metal demand for a long time. And kind of specific to the regional bank story, you know, if everyone created a list of what are the systemic risks out there that are known at this point, it's really CRE in the U.S. is kind of one of the easier things to think about. And so those two banks kind of typify, you know, CRE exposure, and they were the growth banks coming out of 2020. So a lot of new assets, a lot of deposit growth at very low interest rates. And so they've been kind of more sensitive to concerns around the banking crisis. And so are we kind of getting past the deepest concerns about CRE? and kind of what do we make of the health of these banks going forward. That's why we're focused there.
Yeah, and as like many, all about the CPI, but you're saying not so much tomorrow. You got to kind of wait till September. We'll have 5 more prints by then, maybe a clearer sense of which way it's trending and whether rents are finally coming down. For now, Cenk, thanks so much. We appreciate your time today.